Welcome to North Carolina Wine TV. I'm your co-host, Kip Bodner.
And I'm your other co-host, Jeff Cohen, and we're here drinking some North Carolina wine. We have the Trinity, a brand new wine from Chatham Hill, located here in the Triangle. And what's interesting about this wine, first off, it's made from Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Merlot.
Okay.
And the thing that is very interesting about Chatham Hill is they are what's called an urban winery, and they put the winery where the people are, and they don't necessarily have to grow their grapes in the backyard, but what they do is they work with vineyards, and in this particular case, all the grapes from this wine came from a single vineyard in Yadkin Valley.
Very cool. That's a good backstory. Those three grapes are traditionally blended in a lot of different French wines, so you would assume this is kind of a North Carolina adaptation of a French, maybe a Bordeaux blend or something like that. So interesting to give this a try. Brand spanking new wine from them. So I will say, just on looking at it, it is a very rich, rich, deep purple. Definitely towards the darker side of most of the North Carolina red wines that we have reviewed on the show up to this point. So really looking forward to that. Well, let's give it a smell.
Yeah.
It's tight. The nose on this is just not a lot coming through.
And it's been open for about an hour.
Hour or two, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's the Cabernet Franc and the Merlot are playing a really dominant role here. I'm getting more of them than I'm getting the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Although as I'm spinning it, I'm starting to get a little fruit.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Some dark fruit, though,
yes,
right?
Absolutely dark fruit.
Like some big, bright blackberry action. There's a lot of Cabernet Franc stuff.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that also.
Onions and green peppers, and definitely some kind of tomato action too, probably a little bit.
You're making me want a meatball sandwich.
That would be so good right now. Or some cookout. Oh, man.
How does cookout pair with wine?
We're going to find out someday.
Where's the nearest cookout here? It's a long way, isn't it?
No, it's like 10 minutes.
Huh.
Keep that in mind.
Never know.
Really vegetable though. It's I mean, it's like big black fruit and vegetables are just kind of pounding against each other on the nose of this wine. Am I missing anything? It's a little earthy, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely is the cage match between the big black fruit.
they're in the cage, and they're like, because they're playing like equal roles in this wine.
That's right. The big black fruit and the big green pepper.
Exactly.
In the cage death match. It's going on.
We're gonna. You know what? I really got some distinct like currant in there too, like raisin currant. I mean, kind of rich, kind of butterscotch caramel, intensified sugar fruit there for a second, which was nice. Almost port-esque on the nose, real quick.
Okay.
It was interesting. Let's give this a try and see which one wins.
Yeah.
Whichever one comes through is going to be the winner, right?
Yeah, that's right. Who wins the cage match?
And the green pepper wins!
I think so.
Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely the Cab Franc wins.
I mean, Cab Franc wins with a ladder over the top of the red fruit. I mean, pick your cheap wrestling cage match prop and use it in that metaphor. And
oh, and by the way, if you're a wrestling fan, leave us comments below.
I like that. Dry.
Very dry.
Very savory red wine. Lots of stewed tomatoes, onions, green pepper, even almost a little garlic. I mean, really savory to me.
Yeah.
Really, really savory. One of the most savory wines I think we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting blend because I don't understand what the Cabernet Sauvignon and what the Merlot are doing.
They're bringing some fruit in, and that fruit is there. And I will say that what I think that the Cabernet Sauvignon is bringing more so because
is some of the body.
A little body, but acidity.
Oh, okay.
There's some really crisp acidity to this wine, and we've had some pretty acidic Cabernet Sauvignons. Like that's kind of how Cabernet grows in North Carolina. It makes a little bit more of an acidic wine, and this wine definitely has a little bite to it, a little acidic punch to it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And as we, oh man, it finishes just a little tart pucker.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely a food wine. Definitely a young wine that could sit down for 6 months, a year or so.
And it's not a vintage wine.
No, not a vintage wine. It's non-vintage, but I gotta think some of this juice, some of these grapes are from 2007 because it's got some nice body. It's got some nice characteristics of a hot vintage. It has to have a lot of Cabernet Franc in it because it is just a savory wine. This is a food wine for me.
Yeah.
Without food, it's probably about a 3.5 for me. What about you?
Yeah, I think
I like it. I mean, 3.5 is maybe low for how much I like it because I like the interesting factor of it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I almost think I'm at about a 4 on this.
I think I can meet you there. There's some stuff happening here.
There's a lot going on. This is a
interesting wine.
It's one of these things where Chatham Hill is a 10-year-old winery now. This year they're celebrating their 10th anniversary, or maybe it was last year. And what's now happening is as they're really focusing on sourcing grapes from North Carolina, which sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Right.
They're having better quality fruit.
Yeah, they're building good relationships with growers and having and this is, I think this is a good example of that. I mean,
yeah, it absolutely is.
Unlike any red wine I've had in a while, the mid-palate of this wine has the sensation of like chomping on a sweet tart.
Right.
Like that little like
pucker.
That pucker that you get when you chomp down like on a sweet tart, not the sugariness, but like that reaction.
Right.
That's what this and that is so refreshing. To be able to get that from a wine. It may sound strange, but it's really appealing.
Well, and the word absolutely is pucker. It makes you pucker, and it's
right in the middle. It's not the finish. I love that it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go into 4 on this. I'm good going on 4 on this. This is definitely a food wine.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it with a whole lot of different food. Cheese, meat, rich pastas. I mean, this could really spread the gamut. This could be a really versatile wine. So we're gonna go 4 on this. I like it. You want to close this out? This was fun.
Here's to the Old North State.